Now, imagine driving just a few feet behind that tractor trailer and watching a situation slowly spin out of control, powerless to change the inevitable. And at your side's Jason Marks talked to a man tonight just feet away from that truck as it left the bridge.
Tom, this accident was the last thing Todd Cannon expected to see this morning. He was right behind that tractor trailer, and he says he doesn't remember seeing the big rig ever hit the brakes.
It actually is very shocking. Almost everything goes into slow motion.
Todd Cannon was on his way to work Thursday morning when a tractor trailer only feet in front of him crashed through the guardrail of the Chesapeake Bay Bridge tunnel and plunged into the water below.
But I do remember the impact was significant. A lot of parts of the truck flew up in the air.
Cannon was just coming out of the second tube. He noticed there was a work zone ahead and two lanes were merging into one.
The tractor trailer approached the work zone in the right lane and for whatever reason didn't change lanes and impacted the last barrier truck.
By the time Cannon got up to the gaping hole in the guardrail, the big rig was already floating in the Chesapeake Bay. Cannon's training kicked in. You see, he works for the Virginia Department of Emergency Management. He picked up his radio transmitters and took it upon himself to coordinate rescue efforts.
When I looked over the edge, the cab was submerged and the intermodal box container that it was towing was floating, which was a good thing.
Good because the cab was still attached. Maybe there was a chance for crews to save the driver.
In this case, the hopes were that he would come up after the collision, and that didn't occur.
Crews weren't able to get to the driver in time to save his life. It was an end no one wanted to see.
After every event like this, no matter what it is, I think one of the things we try to do is determine, ask ourselves, why did it happen? I can't even really speculate on what that is. I'm hoping that an investigation will give us those answers.
So it wasn't the outcome anyone wanted, but Cannon says it wasn't due to a lack of effort. He says it's also assuring to see the communication in situations like the one today between the Navy, local fire departments, and Coast Guard. Jason Marks, 10 on your side.
10 on your side is looking into safety precautions taken at the bridge before the crash. We talked with Deputy Director Tom Anderson. He said crews take 3 steps to warn drivers of work ahead. First, drivers should see flashing yellow lights to take caution. Second, an electronic sign which states work ahead and tells drivers which lane to get in. Anderson says one was in place about 1,100 feet before the crash. And third, work trucks have a big flashing arrow which points to the open lane. Several viewers called us and asked us why there were no traffic cones alerting drivers to change lanes. Anderson told us they couldn't use cones due to the type of work being done.
It's not a stationary project, it was a rolling project. So in those types of things, you can't really set up cones and things of that nature because they were constantly moving at a slow rate of speed along the bridge.
Now, 10 on your side was on the air and on the ground, even in the water as this story unfolded all day. Andy Fox spent the afternoon in a boat near the accident scene.
Right behind me, this is where the trucker came through. He tried to avoid a maintenance truck that he saw at the last moment jackknifed, and the truck and the trailer both fell into the water here. Phil, what have you been seeing out here all day with those boats?
Well, they kept about a 500-yard perimeter, kept broadcasting on 16 to keep everybody away. I guess they had a marker buoy we're not sure, but they did a good job. They kept everybody in check.
Now, we are still working to get answers to some big questions. We want to know when the divers are going to resume their recovery mission. We also want to know what is inside the truck. Is there any environmental impact from it going into the bay? And of course, who was the truck driver?